Hi, based on the umpteen messages that you sent, when I asked you for ideas in terms of what kind of videos I can make for all of you, this is one such video. As you can see, the title is Why Am I a Reader? Through this video, I want to put across a few factors as to what made me become a reader, what are the benefits, the advantages that you can also reap from. And of course, if I have to ask this question to myself, am I a reader? Yes, I am a reader. Was I always a reader? I wish I was. That's in fact one regret that I'll carry for a long time to come. But the good thing is that I started. As people say, better late than never. Because even now, the amount of reading that I do, if I think about it, there's so much to read and so little time. And it often bothers me that will I even have one lifetime which is enough for at least the kind of content that I want to amass, the kind of books that I want to read. To start with, one of the biggest reasons why I love reading is the kind of change of perception it has had about myself when it comes to the others. I still remember how, back in school days as well as in college days, I considered myself as a below average, to be honest, a dumb student. Why? Because I was, in fact, never interested in education at all. Never would I have completed any book. Actually, forget completion. Never would I have even taken that book to halfway itself. Just like how many of you who are students who are listening to this, we have a cheat code and we use that cheat code to cheat that system called the education system. But today, when I walk into rooms, people perceive me as somebody who's learned, well read, intelligent, and all of that happened because of reading. One of the biggest advantage of reading is it helps you increase your own intelligence, and I definitely can vouch on that. Trust me, today when it comes to the way the whole world functions, knowledge is power. And surely by that logic, reading will become your superpower. I remember watching one of the Netflix documentaries in which there's this one statement that caught my eye, which said that the day data became more expensive than petrol is the day the whole world changed. Trust me, we don't live in an information and technology world. We live in an information and technology overload world. You have to understand that your real value doesn't come from your muscle power, it comes from your brain power. That is the reason why knowledge is power. And surely, by that logic, it is reading that becomes your superpower. Exercise that superpower as much as possible, and you will become strong in this particular world. That's a guarantee. Reading, in fact, started for me with a very simple objective. Training, no doubt, was an accidental profession for me. It was just that I was passionate and compassionate about what I wanted to do in terms of how I wanted to serve. Often, people call me a motivator. But one thing that they forget is even a motivator needs motivation. I started using books for self development largely. Books have helped me to a very, very large extent in terms of learning, first of all, how I can improve on my own facilitation to training to teaching abilities. Then I started focusing on domains that I can focus, which will help others. Self development was my way of looking into that long bridge of knowledge and books that I had to walk to, and I'm glad that I did that, honestly. For a lot of my friends who are watching this particular video, if you are avid readers, especially into fiction, I'm sure so many of you will vouch for this, that reading is therapeutic. It is an extremely relaxing process. Why? Because you just get so engrossed in the narration that it kind of helps you escape this world. And I, being a non-fiction reader, can also vouch for that. There are times where I feel low. Yes, I'm not happy all the time. How do I beat that feeling? That feeling of anxiety, stress, anger in many ways, a sinking mindset. I do that with the help of books. Especially, I go to my self help shelf and pick up books which help me in terms of stress management, mindfulness, and various other ways. Another big advantage of reading books is, like, I'm a very curious person. Actually, I became a curious person. I'm glad for that as well. There are so many things today that you can easily segregate in I know about it or I don't know about it. And honestly, whenever I hear things about something that I don't know, I obviously Google it. And when it fascinates me after Googling it, I make sure that I pick up books which can actually help me get to know much more in depth and in detail. And that's a big, big advantage. Books help me, and books make sure that they feed my curiosity. Also, think about it. The beauty of books is somebody spends an entire lifetime, does so many things right, so many things wrong, learns so many lessons from that one lifetime. And what do? They convert that learnings of a lifetime into a book. And what do? We sit over few hours, read all of those lessons, and get to know every bit of it that they took one lifetime with one book. Isn't that magical? That's why I love biographies, autobiographies, because you can easily learn from achievers, role models, as to how is it that they lived their life and how is it that they learned those valuable lessons throughout their lifetime. Again, whether it's fiction or non-fiction, I'm sure the avid readers will agree with me that reading is that one place where they can just sit on a single chair and travel the entire world. I am fascinated by history because it gives us a glimpse of how we are where we are and what led to where we are as of now. And what do books do? Books let you travel back in time around the world and make sure they give you a peekaboo, if not even an in-depth analysis of how that world looked like, how those leaders were, how those kingdoms were, how that world was, and how much it has changed. It gives us a glimpse of whether we've even learned from our mistakes, whether humankind has even evolved or changed for good or for bad. That's in fact one of the reasons why I'm intrigued by Indian history specifically. Oh, I've read plenty of books that someday I would definitely recommend to all of you. Another reason, this will be my last reason, a very valuable reason nonetheless, is I read for you. Why? Because I read to give back to you. There are so many times when I'm reading, all I'm doing is telling to myself, oh my God, I can talk about this, I can share this in my training programs to my friends, to people who are not aware of this. Actually, it gives me a kick that I can get to know something that vast majority of the world does not know, that I can actually be that knowledge bearer who I can go and share to. And that's an amazing feeling. Try it and you will know exactly what I'm talking about. Also, I want to end with this one simple philosophy. To me, just like how William Shakespeare says, life is a stage and we are actors, I can twist that by saying that life is a school and I'm a student forever in it. You are a student forever in it. And how do we become good students? By learning. I remember I learned this once. I read it somewhere where the author spoke about our life just like a fruit. He says that the only way that fruit can stay fresh is if that fruit continues to grow. And the day that fruit stops growing is the day that fruit starts rotting. I always keep my life in parallel to that philosophy and keep asking this to myself: did I learn something today or did I not learn something today? Because because I do not want to rot. Especially, I do not want this to rot. And I strongly urge you not to let your superpower go away, lose that power of knowledge, and especially fail to enhance that one weapon that you have that you can use to change your life, to change your family and the world. Before I end, I did my humble effort to list down some of the things that makes me a reader. I'm so sure I've missed out on so many, such as yours. I would love it if you could comment below and tell what are some of the other reasons that drive you to become a reader if you are readers who are listening to this. And also, I have a very, very special request to those who don't like reading, because I want you to type and tell me what is it that makes you dislike reading so much? Why do you hate it so much? Because this is actually going to be a 3-part video where I started first by telling why I'm a reader. The next video, I want to talk about how you can be a reader. And the third part, I want to tell you some of the books that I have read that have changed my life, that have the power to change your life too. So do comment, and I'll be eagerly waiting for your comments. Until next time, have a beautiful life. Thank you.